You know, the supermarket has so many great things that offer us convenience and allow us to make things that we love super quick, as opposed to the old days where we had to make everything from scratch. We never had to experience that, but people did. And there's a place for it and a purpose, but some things just are that much better when you make them yourself. I don't often do this at home, but there's nothing like a fresh tortilla. And so today we're gonna make them. We need them for our tacos. And so an episode needs to be dedicated to it. Today we're making flour tortillas because corn is great. It's probably what you find mostly in Mexico, but flour is probably easier to make at home. Everything you need to make it is pretty much in your pantry already. It's flour, it's some sort of fat. I'm gonna use shortening today. You could use lard, you could use butter, you could use some oil, some salt, and water, and that's it. We're just gonna toast it in a cast iron, and it's really easy. They're gonna be super delicious, and it's gonna be hard justifying store-bought tortillas from now on. At the very least, it'll be a special occasion thing for you to do. So let's just get right into it. So I got my flour here. When I branch out into new things, I follow somebody else, so I've done my research. And this is based more or less a recipe from Rick Bayless. He's a prolific chef who specializes in Mexican food, and so I figured he was a reliable source to get a recipe from for this. So we're gonna try this out. I'm sure it's fantastic. So once you have the flour, I have a bit of shortening. And you can use lard, you can use, whatever you have, but something like this, a lard or a shortening, trans fat free. Look, make sure it's a trans fat free shortening. This is gonna add just a little bit more flavor. It's gonna make a more tender tortilla in the end. So we have that, and then we just have our salt and a little bit of water. Make sure you go check out the recipe below for all the exact measurements. All this stuff's gonna come together in this guy. Of course, you could do it by hand. It'll just require some kneading, but if you're gonna make this, I don't think you're gonna need it. You're probably gonna use something like this, so I'm gonna show it this way. So I'm just gonna go in with the flour, a little bit of the salt, pinch of salt, and then the shortening. We're gonna pulse it, get this mixed up in with the flour, and sort of to the consistency of like a little bit like wet sand. So get it going. Get the lid back on, turn it back on, and slowly add in the water until it comes together into a ball, and it's sort of like a little bit sticky, a little bit tacky, but kind of gives a little bit, and we're just gonna kind of feel it out. So I just want to cut it in half. Now if you want to roll out big burritos, you can kind of leave them this size, but for tacos, I'm going to just take them and cut them in half. So you just got these wrapped. They're gonna sit here for at least 30 minutes resting. Then we're gonna get it rolled out and get them cooked up. It's that easy. In the meantime, I'm just gonna get my cast iron preheated over medium heat. I just want to take this and roll it out away from me and then turn it a quarter turn every time, like that. Now I'm gonna get started cooking these because I don't want them to dry out. So I'm gonna leave some of these balls. I'm gonna move the cameras over there and just show you how we get these cooked and then wrap this guy up. So why are all my tortillas in here? Because I have them in a towel and they're just kind of steaming in there, and that's gonna help carry over some of that cooking. It's also gonna keep these guys warm, and if you felt this, you could feel the residual heat sort of keeping it nice and warm. So you could just make tacos, pull them out of here, everybody can get a beautiful fresh flour tortilla. I mean, I'm just so excited. Delicious. Got my salsa verde. It's nice and tender. It's kind of got like flavor and this sort of supple texture. That's beautiful. Some of these were a little darker. You sort of have to tune in the heat. Too hot a heat sort of can burn them a little bit. Burnt ones do have a little bit of a bitter flavor, but it's okay. You kind of want it to look a little bit more like this. This is one of the perfect ones. And so these are gonna go well on my tacos. Or you could just use them as a utensil, you know? Get in there and use it as a spoon. If you guys want to know how to make this salsa verde, that was my last episode. We got our tortillas done. We have pickled red onions that we did last month, so we're all ready to go. But right now, we're building up to creating one taco, and that's the cochinita pibil taco. Gonna have some pickled red onions, some salsa verde, a little cilantro and onion, and it's perfection. So make sure you tune in for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're all doing really well. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Next episode, we're making the cochinita pork from 368 video. I'm gonna leave all the links to the videos that are gonna relate to making those tacos down below. And yeah, we're almost there. I like it when we sort of build up to a recipe. I think it's sort of is fun and it gives everything the time that it needs. Hope everyone's enjoying spring. This weather, it's a breath of fresh air. It's already making my mood better, so that's great. That's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.